I do want to.
Yeah. What, do I say something?
We've been waiting for Ranger Todd because we had 3 minutes. We couldn't start until 2:30. So we wanted to be precise.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So now that maybe 2:30 has arrived.
2:30 has arrived. Yes.
Yes. So this floor is yours for, I don't know,
Okay.
55 seconds. 37 seconds.
Sorry, I was opening act. So, real quick, Maggie has been volunteering for us this summer, but she's a very seasoned national park volunteer, and also she's a very seasoned national park owner, right? Yeah. She has very deep relationship with nature and national park service, national parks. She grew up in Crescent City, California, up north near the Oregon border, where you find the tallest trees in the world. We are surrounded by trees that belongs to the same species. They are tall, right? About 200 feet. Here, average is about 200 feet. But up north, the tallest one is 379 feet.
Yes.
Today. But in the past, these trees probably grew over 400 feet. We just don't know because they were logged very heavily. So back then they didn't probably, they were not interested in the science of these trees, so they didn't measure the trees. So we lost those trees, unfortunately, but it's a very amazing area. And I highly recommend you folks visit there sometime, 5 to 6 hours north of here. Maggie grew up, was that?
I said small trip, 5 or 6 hours.
Just 6 hours. She grew up with very intimately with redwood trees and redwood forests. And her parents own this gift shop that sold redwoods rated souvenirs. So, yep.
What's that?
Oh, that's a secret. We can't know yet.
She'll tell you all about it.
I'm going to tell you all about it.
This and everything you might want to know about redwood trees.
That's
Maggie is going to tell us all. So probably without further ado, I should introduce Maggie.
Thank you, Ranger Todd. Yeah. As Todd said, this is my 6th summer, and I said it just before some of you were here. And it's great to have this as my office. I came to Muir Woods for the summer because, yep, I grew up in the Redwoods, and they link me to my past. They remind me of my childhood. They certainly ground me in my present, and hopefully they'll be a bridge to my future. So I'm really happy to be here. To get started, just a couple of logistics. If you need to use the restroom or leave the park, it's that way. If at any time you'd like to continue on your walk through the park, it's that way. So this talk is going to last hopefully 15 minutes. It might be 14 and it might be 17, but it'll be in that area. And it's a participatory talk, so that means I encourage you to ask questions. There's no wrong question, there's no wrong answer. So I encourage you. Yes? What would you like? Well, that's one of the things I'm gonna talk about. If you have 15 minutes, I'm gonna tell you why they're so big. So first, let's see, where was I? Oh, I was gonna tell you about the trees, yes. So one might wonder, how did they get so big? Yes, that's your question. But specifically, to get so big, they need a lot of water. And for those of you who know California or are visiting from California, know that we are in a drought. And also, in the summertime, we don't get any rain. I've been here since the first part of June. It hasn't rained once. So, let's take a little wager and think about how much water would one of these trees take in a day? Just a wild guess. A guess.
20 gallons.
20 gallons.
About 400, 500 gallons.
400 or 500 gallons.
Bathtub full.
A bathtub full, 100 gallons. Well, the man from Fort Washington is exactly right. Yes. Some scientists say that these trees can drink up to 500 gallons in a day.
Each and every tree, not just one.
Exactly, and each and every day. So, you know, I have a hard time envisioning quantity sizes. So let's just say, what is 500 gallons? Well, let's say you stepped into the shower, you turned on both the faucets, and I don't know, you stood there for at least an hour. That might come close to 500 gallons. So you start thinking, you look around, you go, wow, 500 gallons, 500 gallons, 500 gallons. Where's the water going to come from? Where's the water going to come from? Any guesses?
Artesian.
What was it?
Artesian water.
Artesian water? Any other guesses? The sea? Anyone else? Underground wells?
The mist.
Because the rain comes from up top.
Well, we don't get rain from above, but we get something very similar, and that's fog. Now, summer arrived here 2 days ago, and we've had sunny, beautiful weather for 2 days now. 2 days. But for all summer long, we've had fog. And it, like, so foggy that, you know, when I drove in here, I couldn't even see the front of my car. It was that foggy. So what this fog does is, fog comes down, all those needles are sucking up the fog. The extra fog drips down to the forest floor. And what's cool about this is that all these huge trees, all their roots go like this, and they weave. Not only do they weave to help hold each other up in the wind and all the other adversities, but they're no deeper than 10 feet. These huge trees have a very shallow root system. So when that fog comes down, it allows those roots to suck up the water. And so these trees are able to continue because of the fog. So what else might help, let's say, linkages to the past and connections to the future for these trees? So we've talked about water. We've talked about, well, some of you have been waiting for this. The unveiling of the snail. Not a snail. Slug. A slug. What kind of slug? What does it look like? It's the fruit. Who said? Banana slug. Banana slug. This guy.
Oh, wow.
Okay, we got to figure out how this guy, the banana slug, could be a girl. So, one might ask, the banana slug, how does that create a connection to the future for these trees? Well, I'm going to tell you. The banana slug slimes along the floor of the forest. And as it slimes along, it picks up redwood needles, it picks up debris, it picks up dead bugs as it goes. And then what happens? Well, kind of like our composting at home. You know, you finish the dinner dishes, some of you finish the dinner dishes, you take all the scraps, you put them in a plate, you take them out, maybe you have one of those composters that you turn, and then the more you turn it, the food decomposes, and what comes out? Nutritious fertilizer. Well, our good friend, the banana slug, does something very similar to that. As it slimes along, it picks up all those things, it turns them around, it poops out the most nutritious fertilizer. So these big giants can benefit from the nutritious fertilizer that these banana slugs make. Now, they're not our friend at home. Generally, if you have a garden, the banana slug is not your best friend, but here in the redwoods, they are the redwood's best friend. So they make a connection to the future with their wonderful fertilizer. So now,
Excuse me, will we see them as we're walking around, or do they only come out when it's wet, when it's damp?
you can see them any time of day or night, but sometimes they're a little elusive. They don't like the sunshine. They like where it's dark. Just last week, I saw one right on the boardwalk. So yeah, you can see them. They're out and about. Don't pick them up. I mean, besides not wanting to pick up wildlife, they are really slimy. And if you have the misfortune of washing your hands, you think, oh, I'll go wash my hands, it makes it worse. Because that slime doesn't come off. You need to like get dirt or salt or something to get that slime off. So you're kind of like cementing it in if you were to wash your hands. But we're not going to be picking up slugs. Yes?
How deep was the tree when it was little?
Well, the roots are quite shallow, so here's some little trees over here. We're going to talk about that right now. We're going to talk about that. That's the next thing, which is a redwood burl, and I'm going to show you. You can walk over there, as long as you stay on the walk. So, another connection to the future that's going to help these trees grow for centuries to come is the redwood burl. Kind of a weird sounding name. Anybody know what a redwood burl looks like, what it does? No. Redwood burl. Kind of a weird sounding name. A redwood burl is a pustulant protuberance. Yeah, it's fun to say. You can say it. Pustulant protuberance. Which means it's a lump, it's a bump, it's a growth, it's a wart. What does it look like? Well, follow. Everybody see this? Am I in your way? Follow this light. Follow this light. You guys are going to have to look later. I'll point one out. Follow this light. You see that lump right there? All right, that's a redwood burl. When you were done, you can look at that one up there. Also, we see them around the root of the tree. So, what do they do? It looks like a wart. We like to kind of, well, some of us like to get rid of our warts. I don't know. This redwood burl is filled with dormant sprouts. So as long as the tree is healthy, hey, that pustulant protuberance, just like it grows, it can be, again, at the base, it can be underneath the ground, or it can be up high. So it's just growing, it's hanging out with the tree. But as soon as that tree is injured or is stressed, that knot up there, yep, that guy right there, sprouts come out, and it can form a new tree with the same DNA. So it's like a clone of itself. Not quite like Brussels sprouts, but it has the same name. So these things, as you walk around today, you'll see sometimes it's covered with redwood needles, so you have to look carefully. But it's the redwood burl which really helps ensure that these trees are around for centuries to come. Now, burls aren't the only way that we get redwood trees. They also come, this is a redwood cone. Imagine, something that big behind me grows from something this small. Now, not only is this cone small, but the seeds, the redwood seeds inside, they're about the same size as a tomato. So imagine planting something the size of a tomato seed. Yeah, well, experts say that only about 5% of these seeds germinate. And even fewer than that actually grow into trees. So you can see that the redwood really relies on that redwood burl for its continued growth. Now finally,
I'm sorry, I don't really understand. So it's way up there. Something damages the tree. It's going to spurt out something, and then it'll go back down.
no, it's going to go out like that and up. As you look around, as you walk through the park today, you look around and you'll see arms that come out and go up. It's amazing. So the last bit is how was this wonderful area created, established? Well, it's called Muir Woods, right? So I don't know, John Muir, maybe he lived here? Maybe he donated the land? What do you think?
Did he make it a national park?
Did John Muir make it a national park?
That's a question.
No. The answer is no. Well, how it came about was there was a couple by the name of Elizabeth and William Kent. They lived in this area, and they decided to buy this valley. The reason was there was a lot of logging going on in the area around here. And if you drove in today, you could see that the area outside this valley is very different. You know, there's dried grass, no big trees, curvy road. Nothing as special as what you see right here. And these trees are what we call old growth. And what that means is they've never been cut, they've never been logged. So these trees are, I can't remember if I told you, but I think between 600 and 800 years old. So the Kents decided that this would be a very special and important place to set aside. So they bought it, they donated it to the government. In 1908, Teddy Roosevelt, with his executive power privilege, with one signature, created a national monument. And therefore this will never be logged, and it'll always be set aside for our enjoyment. So, as you walk through the park today, I encourage you to think back about how it was created, how the slug, the fog, and the burl are connections to the future for the redwood tree. And I invite you to be part of the redwood's future, to be stewards of this beautiful park, of these beautiful trees, and think about how we can keep these areas safe and preserved, not only for our descendants, but for centuries to come, so that other people, when they come here long after we're gone, can sit here and feel and see what you're feeling today. Thank you very much. I'll be here if you have any questions.
What kind of wood we use for it?
Oh my goodness. The wood.
Which one? Oh, it's like leaning against the other one?